Mac 101 here, back with the series that I was working on before. Hopefully y'all can hear me. I'm not going to stop the camera to see if it's picking up. I hope it is. I'm recording. I'm not doing it live right now. Because once I'm done with the series, I can get back into what I was initially getting in, and I'm going to start my new channel. I'm going to move my astrology from Immaculate 101 to whatever name I'm going, whatever spirit decides to give me the title for the astrology shift series and all my old videos. I'm going to move to that channel, and it'll still be, just in time for people to hear. I know I speak. I have a thick, way of using words, but my page is for people who are mentally strong. People who want to hear the truth. I want them to chuckle at some of their pains. I would like them to realize it's not about mocking them or anything. It's just, this is how goat talk. This is how my 12th house in Scorpio into Sag talk. My Mercury is there in between my houses. The title was Capricorn. To love us is to hate us, and to hate us is to love us. And that's the truth about Saturn. Most of us know that Saturn is considered a cold and calculated planet. That's about tenacity, like endurance, high endurance. And it's considered a father planet, and it's the planet of wisdom, apart from Jupiter being from Sagittarius. Now, Jupiter would be considered the optimistic planet of faith and high hopes and being. See, this is when I get nervous. The optimistic planet of being leaps and bounds, and on the other hand, it'll be and on the negative side, it would be self-righteous, stagnated, uncompromising. Every sign has a dark nature, and I admire Jupiter. Jupiter, I would say Jupiterians get along well with Capricorns. Sometimes Jupiterian energies dislike Capricornian or Saturnians' harsh, brutal bubble burst of the knowledge and wisdom, because Capricorn knows that optimism is good. However, leaps need still a practical outlook, like in totality. We're not fixed. It's considered a cardinal sign. Mutable is also, it's mutable means that it can ebb and flow and gel well with everything. Well, we all know cardinal gel well with everything and still stands alone. Cardinal signs are Aries, Libra, Capricorn, and Cancer. So I had to go to Jupiter, which is before Capricorn, is why I'm saying it's the same. The real history based on astrology is because for the 12 cycles, aka the Jacob's Ladder, the 12 months of the cycles, remember there's sun, moon, rising, then there's other planetary, alignments that create things. Whether we want to believe it or not, if you decide to do some research, and I mean research and calculate your life and take notes of where you were and certain things, you will see a lot of us, at least 95% of us will see where your life changed, why we think the way we do. And back then, they had an old saying when people used to go to jail if they committed a crime or certain things was done. It was considered the person's status during a certain moon. if someone killed somebody, if somebody did something during times of certain alignments, they would call that person a lunatic, meaning that their energies was based on the moon, their impulses was based on the moon, and so forth. I'm using this to get to the point of why Saturn is the way Saturn is. Okay, like I said, Saturn's the dad. Sometimes it can be the mom, it can be the nurturing mom. However, it's still going to be the logical, practical dad. Like, if you did this, well, you're going to have to work at it. If you want to be this, you're going to have to be that. Some say the moon reflects, the moon is considered my polar opposite sign. Ruled by the moon is Cancer and is exalted in Pisces, which is Neptune, ruled by Neptune. Also, Venus can be also exalted in Neptune, but not as intuitive as Cancer. Cancer is one of the most intuitive signs. Scorpio is a deep sign, but Scorpio, the energy of the Phoenix is fixed energy. Fixed means it will unwaver until it believes that it can surrender, which will be the Phoenix, and then once it passed that stage, which goes to the eagle. Okay, and that means it's unwavering of its own personal reasons to change. It's not that it's not because it's ready to change, and it's a very fixed energies are very fearful signs, afraid of change. When I tell you it fixed is afraid of change, it will rebel for the sake of rebelling because of change. All right, and what made the sign before Sag, which is Scorpio, so strong is because of its third house, which is Capricorn. Their strengths come from the third house of Capricorn. The third house of Capricorn gives them their drive, their ambition, and their goals. Of fixed energy, remind you, their third house is still in air, so it's the process of where they've been as children, and also their local areas, their personal local neighborhood upbringing. So if they grew up in multiple group homes, Saturn is going to give them their interpretation of how they see it. Remember, they're fixed water, and how they see their life coming through Saturnian energy. So over time, their anger, their pain, their joy, and also their Mars, let's just say they had a Mars in Capricorn, it would drive them to be one of the signs that can be standalone. And like I said, Capricorn can be standalone. Okay, so can Cancer, so can Libra, so can Aries. Okay, we can be completely standalone. Also, after Capricorn can be standalone signs, which can be Leo or Aquarius. So I'm giving this to say. Now, as I've said, the third house of Scorpio is Capricorn, ruled by Saturn. It gives this family dynamic of depictions of where they've been and what fears they have let go and their traumas. Capricorn's third house now is ruled by Mars. Okay, because it goes back to Aries. Okay, it's going from its first house, which is itself, its second house of, if you notice, a lot of Capricorns are good at fixing things with their hands, technical. Second house. Its second house is fixing things. And then its third house, its second house, is the first house. Its third house is back in Aries coming off of Pisces. So it's a Mars-based house, meaning our drive is also like Scorpio. Scorpio is originally ruled by Mars. So that's what makes these two energies so dynamic in success and in drive and ambition, which is why most say that they are one of the most together. When they work together, they're the most powerful sign when they are together. Okay, one complements the other through Mars, the other one complements the other through Saturn. Most don't notice, but the deeper you go into astrology, the better you'll understand. Okay, having said that, hate us is to love us. Capricorns are very pessimistic. And the word pessimistic means they're always worrying. And they're a very worrisome sign. Signs that are worrisome are Virgo, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. Virgo, of course, the earth signs are very worrisome, but not like Capricorn, because Capricorn is intuitively based on accumulated goals and efforts. Capricorn is the only sign, and I mean this, it's the only sign that's willing to learn every single thing. The wisdom of other energies, which came from the sign before, which was initiated by Sagittarius, which Sag will want to learn a little bit about everything. Them and Gemini, the jack of all trades. Capricorn follows behind, which after Gemini becomes Cancer is like, look, I don't know what I really like. Remember, Sag, if Sag wants to learn what it wants to learn, it knows a little bit about everything. It's not the sign that would be the wittiest kid. The wittiest kid. The wittiest kid would be Aquarius, because Aquarius then picked everything up. And I would say it would be Capricorn going into Aquarius, especially Aquarius cusp, because Capricorn learns about everything. That's where Aquarius moves into the nature of learning the wisdom and the technology behind it. Now, when air analyzes it, is now being put into something useful in a technological, broadband, expanded way. You heard the term broadband? I believe those two words together would be Capricorn and Aquarius, a broadband expansion. The web would be mutable energy of how to distribute it and send it out, and water would be to be enticing to the eyes, which is Neptune and Venusian type ways of displaying the things to get people interested, okay? So the solid part of a business is Capricorn. Money is money you actually earn is Capricorn. And I mean long-term money, not the short-term money like Taurus. Taurus is short-term money. Remember, these are the baby energies. The baby energies are Aries, Taurus, and Gemini. And Taurus is Aries is ruled by Mars, the I am energy. Taurus is the I want, the I want energy. So Taurus, when I get to the Taurus thing, y'all, I have an idea of where I'm going, because I'm giving you little snippets of how the Jacob's ladder of astrology is. If God was created in the great I am energy, the awareness of Aries, ruled by Mars. You move now to Taurus, which is the assets. And like I said, it's basic needs, the basic needs of I want, or I want, or I need. Like, it's essential basic needs, which is food, shelter, home, feel, things to feel and to smell. Okay? I gotta take the time the time off. Hopefully it'll still be recording while I put the timer on and come out of this. I don't want it to keep going to screen and keep having to touch it. Okay. I know I can do it. I know I can do it. So yeah, continuing the series. Capricorn is now the real estates with an S. It's the schools, it's the hospitals, it's the organizations, and I mean the conglomerates. Capricorn's essential needs are backed by not wants, it's of, well, if I don't do it, who else is going to do it? Okay? And those natural wants are cardinal for everyone, not for itself like Aries, not for its all the baby energies, which is Aries, Taurus, and Gemini, and to some degree Cancer. It's not the desires for others, it's for everyone and itself. It's like for all of us and at the same time. Okay? And let me see. I'm on display. All right, screensaver. Here we go. Show. Okay, here we go. So, a couple of seconds. Screensaver. Okay. Desktop. I know I could do it. I know I could do it. So yes, it would be in energy saver. I love my Apple. All right, we're gonna move it to possibly 1 hour computer sleep. 1 hour because I don't plan on doing this that long. Okay. Now let's go back in. Go back in here. All right. So that's Saturn in a nutshell. Saturn is organizations. It's like distribution. The distribution now of organizations is the distribution of the of. And when I say this again, that's why I went to Sag. Sag will know a little bit about something, a little bit about something. I mean, if they stick to one thing, they get easily bored, just like Gemini. Once they feel like it's no longer fun in it, they tend to hop to things that are more exciting, okay? But Capricorn, which comes right behind them, ruled by Saturn, we're like, well, what is it that I really want and to pick? You know, like, what is it I really want? So Capricorn is the drive, okay? The drive. We have more high tolerance than Scorpio. Scorpio is more Scorpio, Pluto is more obsessed with the drilling and the more information and the more digging. Saturn is like, I already know what I needed to know. There's no need to keep penetrating it because now I know the art of war. While the other two signs behind, the other signs behind which would be, remember the first part of the chart would be from Aries to Libra or from Aries to Virgo. And then now the lower part, the darker part of the chart is Libra to Pisces. And so Capricorn's ruled by Pluto is like, like I said, imagine it spent 28 years off of a planet, a single planet. And Pluto spent 20 years or one planet is drilling it through antagonizing fears. Antagonizing, like it's something more to this energy. Well, it's something more to this. Okay, I'm going to give y'all some cool ass scenarios because my brain is just popping all over. I'm an air moon, so go figure. But it's in between the first and second house, so I'll slow down. Capricorn is considered the wisest sign, the grandfather, the father of all grandmasters of the sign. Like I said, imagine somebody just watching someone and jumping in every now and then. Every now and then, they don't have to sit and watch and analyze, because just because you sit and watch does not mean you know it. Okay? You would get hands on little by little. I'm going to work. And their work, they could spend, like I said, 5, 10, 15, 20 years on a single thing. Every single thing, as stubborn as a Capricorn can be, because all earth signs are really stubborn as well. We would learn. I don't care if you think that person ain't doing shit. They would be by themselves somewhere reading that damn book. You think Virgo does that? Capricorn does it too. All right? You think that you would like to, wherever your ninth house is, my ninth house is in Virgo. You know, it's on the cusp because, like I said, I have an interception chart. The chart wheel that they claim would make the sign of a genius. But if somebody was a genius, if they knew that life was what it was, and they were all retrograde in my ninth, you know, my house of wisdom. So because I'm already an earth sign, it moves slow. My ninth house is in Virgo on the cusp. And you would think that because people are geniuses, they would be rich in life. But when they culminate into knowing what they need to know, that's where, like I said, when it's your time, you just know it's your time. Capricorn wants to know about everything it needs to know, which can make it pompous coming off of Jupiterian energy, which is Sag. Capricorn has the drive of, sometimes Capricorns can be boastful, and really behind the scenes they're not doing it. All right, we're gonna talk some shit about male and female Capricorns and how Saturn works, especially when you're Capricorn Sun, Moon, Mars. I'll give you some of how Capricorn love is and Venus. If you had to put the Venus in the 10th house and you move the Mars into the 8th, if you move the Venus into Sag, and if you move the Venus into Aquarius, makes a cool one. Okay. I thought it was supposed to. I don't know. I tried. So yeah. So to love and hate a Capricorn. Capricorns in school. Capricorn would be the school kid that most kids would tease. Okay? We would be the kid that when you look at them, you'll say, okay, this is a very smart child. They have a very responsible demeanor. You would tend to give them a lot of tasks when they're young. A lot of tasks. Some Cancer children display Capricornian traits, like I said, in reverse, because you can see that they're very emotional, but they still have that take charge energy naturally, like a Capricorn child. Capricorn children, most parents put their shit on their Capricorn child. Okay, if you're a 10th house Gemini, which is my daughter. If you're a 10th house Scorpio, a 10th house any child, when you put that child's sun there or their moon in there, or if you give somebody if you put their Mars or their Pluto in their 10th house, you will see my Pluto is in my 10th house. Okay, but it's in Libra, so I display beauty of a Libra, but through my sun, which is in between the first and second house. So I display Venusian, both through my 10th house of Capricorn, Taurus, and in between Aries. So my sun, which is in between, it's in the middle of the first and second house, which is the sun. Sun is how you see the world, and your sun represents your father, and your moon represents your mother, and your rising is how you physically see the world. You move that person's beauty or characteristics into that sign, you will notice that the person you would notice certain attributes, certain beauty marks, I have a lot of beauty marks all over my body. And that's that. Capricorn is also we would be the witty kid that you would send to the store at a young age. Like, I think they're smart enough to go to the store and go pick up these items. You know what I'm saying? They would be those children that you will notice that can get it done better than a lot of other children. You teach a Capricorn child to anything. We as children, most of the time we have our influences come from our parents. So most Capricorns don't like letting their parents down. You understand? Like, this is what I dislike about our energy in general. Capricorns have a problem with feeling like we want to take charge and be responsible for our parents. Where there's Capricorn, you're going to find out that Capricorn has an innate thing where they feel like they have to take responsibility over their parents, all right? They will even jeopardize their relationships, and I mean the relationships that can be good for them. I mean great for them. They'll override the best relationship ever because of their parents, because they would like to believe that they take what their parents say to heart, because they respect their family dynamic, which is Cancer energy. Their emotions is tied to the home. I don't care if the parent was treating them like shit. They'll fight their family. Like if they're on a darker note, if they would end up being an eighth house Scorpio, an eighth house born sun in the eighth house, and you move their moon into Capricorn, and you put their Venus in Capricorn, and you move their Mercury into Sagittarius, they will be very opinionated with their parents. However, they won't leave. They'll do what they believe is right by their parents. I don't care how the parents treat them. Capricorn has a problem with knowing when your parents are being manipulative, and that's the truth. They can know their parent being manipulative, and they can blow a lot of very good relationships and opportunities in life based on trying to based on validity from their family, not so much their siblings, but from their parents. Okay, and I've seen a lot of relationships that perfect, and I would call it a great marriage, break up because a Capricorn has diluted their relationship based on the especially Capricorn moons, based on their family, their parenting dynamics from the parents. Okay, I've seen this done. I've seen Capricorns who have given up their beautiful. The guy could be a lawyer, you know. The guy could be a lawyer, and he's thriving. He has his own businesses, and he or she married somebody who's very wealthy, and I mean wealthy, to where Capricorn, on the other hand, Capricorn is ambitious. Capricorn would like to marry, somebody of wealth and assets, because that's our goal. We want somebody our partners, to aspire to be as great as we aspire to be. Okay, and sometimes Capricorn can give up a very thriving relationship that has potential because of parent or sibling, or who they believe. I'm telling you, like sometimes Capricorn parents, I notice most Capricorn parents that I personally know where this Capricorn is, either their parents were Aries, Libra, Cancer, Virgo, the ones that's in my proximity. If you look at a lot of Capricorn charts, most of their parent had cardinal energy for them to have this impact on them. And I mean this. And the parent can display qualities of achievements, the parent's personal achievements, but behind the scenes, the parent could be very much discontent, but they know how to display happiness to a certain composure to their children, where the children do believe that the parents are upstanding, but when they look back later, they'll see that most of those types of parents were either they didn't get enough nurturing from the parent, or the parent was very manipulating of the child, like would put the child, they would have certain types of children. I'm telling you how let's get it in. Woo! That's why my alignment is to take notes. You know what I'm saying? Take notes of my life, take notes of everyone else's life, to be a cartographer, cartographer, to, like, even my brains absorbs wisdom. That's Capricorn. Capricorn absorbs wisdom, just like Sagittarius, just like Scorpio. But Scorpio does it on a personal fixed level, Sag does it on a mutable level, and Capricorn does it on an all, like everything, every single thing on every level, based on every level. That's why we are split into different pieces of God, and how we take in So the parent is usually very manipulative. Like when the parent wants something done, you might even see your parent very ambitious. They can gung ho. My mother was an Aries. Let me give you a little bit of how my mother was. My mother was a Aries sun, Aquarius moon. I forgot where her horizon was, but I do believe my mother's physical body stature was of either Sagittarius or Taurus. She's in between, still that lighter side of the chart. Because of her weight, her weight can gain or expand. She can gain or she can lose. But my mom had banging figure. You know what I'm saying? Everybody know my mom for, may she rest in perfect peace. Always was, she was a workaholic. She didn't have to be on the books type of job. My mom was street smart. You understand? My mom was a hustler. My mom used to sell heroin. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm proud of that, where she's been to teach me street smarts. And like I said, my mom, she knew a lot of people. I'm telling you, her funeral was, we had mayors, everything that you ain't gotta, you don't have to be this person who goes after the book type people. We had people who brung her awards and accolades. These are people who represent my mom for her funeral. One day when I get the strength and feel like I want to look back and not feel away, they gave her the doves. You know what I'm saying? They gave her the doves, all of that, like the guns in the air. My mom was an amazing woman. And she did that just coming from the streets. So, and that's Aries, you understand? There's a difference between those types of parents and how them parents influence their Capricorn children. Capricorn may feel like the type of child that they don't mind doing the job. They don't mind doing the work. I'll read this later. Capricorn as a child, we love taking tasks because we want rewards. Capricorn is a sign that believes it needs to earn rewards. All right? And this is where Capricorn can get tricked by their parents, because I'm still on the topic of parents only. And parents can manipulate their children through rewards of making you feel like you did a good task. You know what I'm saying? And the kid feel like I'm doing something great. I am somebody doing something that is helping everyone. Naturally, this is who we are born to be anyway, but we don't know this yet because we don't know the manipulation of parenting yet. You understand, goats? Y'all don't know the manipulation yet of our parents and how they do us. So a lot of us don't. We'll spend the rest of our lives realizing, I can't believe that I was being manipulated my whole life. I can't believe I gave up. If you notice, a lot of Capricorns are late bloomers. And when I mean late bloomers, I mean even sexually. Sexually, they may not be comfortable with their sexuality. Also Aquarius. Let's get into that. Even though they're voyeur and exploratory, don't mean they're comfortable with the orgasms of sexuality. I'm telling you, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces has those issues, okay? Sometimes Libra, because they'll assume that, woof. You know what I'm saying? That word popped in my head. So, okay, so the manipulation of the parent will make you think that you're doing such a great job and we need you. But really and truly, behind the scenes, the other children are getting the validation of their accolades and such, but the parent will see that you're watching and you're kind of feeling like the black sheep and you're not left out. You'll get the validity, but really it's low-key through manipulation to drive you to keep being just as ambitious as the other ones that's superseding you. And that's true. That's why usually Capricorns are the late bloomers, even when it comes back to going back to school, with education, with marriage, with fertility, and so forth. Um, if if Capricorn has Sun in the fifth house, if you make someone a Capricorn Sun in the fifth house, they'll use Leo energy. They'll be old ladyish with a very mature, older face. Because I looked very mature for my age. However, the older I got, the younger I looked. And I always get from people that I look like, honestly, I'm in my 30s, but I'm really in my 40s. You know, I always get this. I always get this. We age in reverse. Once we hit 35, we go reverse. Not 40. We look reverse. We go back. The boobs suck back up. Like when you're older, your breasts tend to draw. Nope. I never have to wear a bra unless I choose to. Like the expansion of when they tell you Saturn retracts, it freaking retracts. Your ass go back up. You don't have to work so hard to keep a physically fit body. When Saturn is activated right now in Pisces, your intuitiveness is going to be on fleek. Your body tends to, the puberty goes in reverse. I've been eating the most terriblest things. I've been partying my ass off these last few months, and I've been looking in the mirror waiting to see a gray hair. And I'm like, holy crap. There's some truth to this. Like I said, I'm like the sonographer on this. Like I'm taking my notes. The manipulation of the parents can be detriment to the child's future later on in life. Okay? So in school, there'll be that witty kid. They'll play around. They'll slack off. They may even have a little slick mouth with cursing. However, they'll respect that people don't see them do their little things out of order. You know what I'm saying? They'll be the kid that they'll tell you they don't like the bully, but every now and then they'll get somebody back for getting on them. You know what I'm saying? They're those types of kids. They're the ones be like, shut up. At least those would be the kids. Sagittarius, Capricorn, and Aquarius are the kids that do the yo mama jokes. So that means that Aries, Taurus, and Gemini did it too. You know what I'm saying? Cancer might not like the joke, or Cancer might make the joke, but when the joke is directed at them, they don't like it. Capricorn, to some degree, don't mind it because they get the slick tongue after being from Sag energy. So we could keep up with saying some shit that will make you be like, yo, I want to kill that motherfucker. But normally we don't care about stuff like that. We don't hold it to heart. We may even on a darker note might not like it, but however, we will naturally. We don't really like to if it was a single type of joke. Libra will do it as an inside joke because they don't want nobody to believe that they think and talk like that. It'd be a front, but on the inside they'll manipulate the situation, and you'll find out, well, who started the conversation? They'll be like Libra, and they'll be like, no, I didn't. But they did. They started the shit. Like I said, if they had a cardinal parent that was likely either an Aries or Libra, and the Aries parent might be of a military style. My mom was like military style. I'm giving you because usually it comes from because they're cardinals, so they're learning through cardinal energies of who they are. They would learn this military type of way of being to compose themselves, how to be responsible, even if they made the child codependent, because they can tend to make their children codependent where they need directives all day life. They need to be told what to do and how to get it done. You understand? But Capricorn took all that information and don't sleep on that. They don't know. They remember every single detail that you told them. Now to articulate it, we are slow to speak it back. Okay? I hate my air conditioner, but I need it on. And Freon does that over time. That's why I tell people be careful of Freon. It's too much. It has nitro in it. If you're always using your air conditioner, it will do over time things to your voice. Even if you smoke, we're not talking about none of that. We're talking about the air in general, the Freon inside your air conditioner. You know they also use it for blood thinners. Go figure. So you can know over time what it does to the body. So, with having said that, the parent can be, if their parent, my mom was very militant. Sit up, shut up, bop, bop. Yes, no. We become mechanical based on our parenting through our parents, and maybe some of them might display that to children, to their children. Because I found myself doing it to my child, and I said, "Oh my God," because we don't see it right away. We talk about, my parents, my parents, my parents. However, we have the newer generation to the newer generation, young Capricorns. I want y'all break the cycle of your parents' ideology of how you should live. Tradition is everything, yes. And when I say tradition, I'm still after tradition of when somebody want to marry you. They supposed to come to your parents and ask for your hand in marriage. I'm still that way. That's old school, and that's how it should be. Because you want to know the person's background. We ain't talking about dating them and you meet their parents and you throwing their parents some little money and a parent using you for some change, because that can happen in Capricorn. Wherever there's Capricorn, you're dating somebody who's looking at you as a tool of potential, and they're building a bear because they see your greatness and your ambition and your focus and your drive. Capricorns pay attention to the type of people you attract, because you're going to get those types to attract you, and they understand perseverance, and because we are the perseverers, so we're going to attract those types who's going to try and act like they're building you, but you already got what it takes inside you. Go be careful. We reverse in age. You do not want to attract anybody riding your coattails, even to the young ones. You want someone not to push you. Sometimes we think we need somebody to give us directives and inspiration, but truth be told, Capricorn is a standalone sign. Once we get angry enough and stop feeling guilty for things that we beat ourselves up about, we like to self-defecate on, I don't have enough of this, and we have to break that cycle. Once you break and start speaking positive to yourself, I like to believe sometimes we need compliments and shit like that, but if you notice, a lot of Capricorns cut through somebody bullshit, knowing they being misogynistic, but we keep it quiet. Not me. I learned to be like, look, cut the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? I know you're fabricating it, because they're trying to draw you closer. And they want to be the person who want to go and help you fill out forms, and they want to be the person. But low-key, this person is trying to drive you through a low-key, indirect competition. Signs that do that with ill intent are usually Gemini, and I'm talking about on a lower frequency. Gemini, Taurus, Cancer, Libra, and maybe even our own sign. So like I said, these are the signs that give us karmic lessons in relationships. So be careful of this. And when you wrong someone, because Saturn does this, and it's true. Saturn does this to Pluto's. It does it to Venus. Saturn does this. Saturn will do this to signs that, because we rule karma. If we offend, or if those types or energies offend us, we delay pregnancies, we delay money, we delay education, we delay, and it could be a generation that clearly are unaware of their types of being. And I've learned that my generation comes from a certain type, but not of Saturnian. It's where my generations are Aquarian, Uranus, that we break folds, we break them. We break the mold. We can be creators, however, we are stuck. A lot of the women, because we come from women, a lot of women in our family that has a cycle of they wanting to divide. So Capricorns, if you offend anyone, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, risings, if you offend anyone, acts, and I mean for real forgiveness. It can delay your money. Karma in general ruled by Saturn. karma affects the body, whether you want to believe it or not. We could see somebody say they was the nicest person in the world, blah, blah, blah. We don't know their thought process on the inside. You can compose things. We come from those types of parents that can compose certain things that make it seem like everything's quality, but they are the most disturbed on the inside. You understand? Heart issues are usually related to jealousy. Okay? Rheumatism usually comes from speaking ill to others. Coveting someone else's, coveting other people's desires, really low-key jealousy. That's a form of jealousy. When you want something somebody else have, and you're still desiring it and it's yours, they may get them or whatever. Still, is coveting. That comes with those warts. I forgot what they call them. Something warts. It's warts that grow. They have a lot. If you notice, those types have warts, heart issues, like all three, because it's certain things that generations suffer from. Cancer, what we call cancer now, back then there was cancer, but they didn't have it through a microscopic level. I'll do that in another volume, okay? Capricorn rules karma, rewards, and I mean self rewards that last, not like Venus where it'll have its highs and lows, and I mean money that stays. Venus does not do that. That's Capricorn. That's earned monies that stay with you, that will not leave. Pluto is you get gains through partnerships. However, the money fluctuates. That's why I said Taurus and Scorpio are I have and we have, because they desire the needs, and their energy naturally ruled by Venus and Pluto. It's only for sensory. Capricorn is I want all the power. That's why I said I did a video with Uranus going into Taurus, which was for 2.5 years, of desire and want, and that's the truth. If you notice, a lot of Taurus, and a lot of Taurus know, and Aquarius know that they've been given more into their temptations more than anything. They've been breaking the mold. I'm sure a lot of them been having a lot of orgies and breaking the mold and secretly acting like they want a single relationship, but they've been low-key creeping around. And you know what I'm saying? It's like, just pay attention to the desires and the versus the wants. And that's double fixed energy. The technology too. People are going to desire more money, more assets. They're going to be very more manipulative towards building characters to get goals. My moon has been activated thinking of, well, how can I do this to expand on this? But if it's karmic, it won't expand. You know what I'm saying? Because you get what you put in. If your intent is, and we aren't talking about how you believe yourself to be, we talking about what you know you're actually doing, and you know you lying to yourself. Like I said, we would like to see ourselves a certain way, but if there was a camera to show all of your tendencies and your our real things, how would you justify that? Because fixed energy would still say they'll do all the wrong. They'll say they're doing all the right things for the wrong reasons, and vice versa. But does it still not make it wrong? It'll be wrong to your perspective. But however, if it's hindering or holding or changing things, it's definitely hindering other energies outside of you, because we're all a part of one big synastry. Okay, and the desires can be a hunger, and you can know you're dead, flat, fucked up, and wrong about it. You'll justify it still, just so you can have it and attain it. And that's why most of the time they'll wait and wait and wait for a partner to change their mind, and they get left behind. Please understand, this is why when you're that stubborn, when you put Uranus there, they will wait that long for their partners to figure it out. But really and truly, they was being stubborn with self because that desire and that want and that belief that they really need this thing to validate them or make them feel when fixed energy don't really feel. It's a fear. It's a fear. It don't feel. I have a fixed moon. I realized once somebody pissed me the fuck off, what the fuck was I thinking? And that's a fact. Because it's earth. Air don't feel. We could get stung by a Scorpio. We don't feel it. We respond like, hit it like a fucking fly. When the whole time the Scorpio was just stinging, or the mosquito was just stinging, you see it, you go, oh shit. Like, that's how it hits air. You understand? But water will feel such things. Fire would feel such things. Earth will just, you know what I'm saying, explode. Capricorn now, like I said, they're the witty kid. They are witty, but they're behind the scenes quiet about it because they don't want to be a show-off yet. Only time they want to be pompous is when they believe they're lacking, which is a good trait for their defense. However, what I would suggest if a parent dealing with a Capricorn child, encourage the child to speak more and read aloud. I've done this with my daughter. She's a 10th house child. Teach them confidence of reading aloud. Don't put them in activities. Or you do the activity with them. Teach them competition. I stay teaching my daughter competition for maybe like 5 or 10 minutes. Well, people you always told me they hear me through my daughter from when my daughter was little. I'm teaching her. I have literally the chalkboard or the whiteboard, and I'll have the hologram on the wall, and we'll be drawing, and I want to make her get up and do it because that teaches them the confidence without always needing a directive from the parent's perspective. Only because Capricorn children feel like they need their parents. Like, what do you think? When really and truly, the parent made their children codependent. Almost like I said, Cardinal do this. I said this about Libra. Aries don't do that. Aries want you to think fast. Okay, Aries, like I said, is militant. They want you to think fast. Use your brain. Respond. Like, come on, fix yourself. Like, get mechanical. You know what I'm saying? Like, but they don't want you like, yes, sir. No, sir. They want you to be like, think fast. Why you didn't think fast? You know what I'm saying? If not, Earth is, remember, it's Earth. So when you move Earth, how do? They dig with that machine. I forget the machine because I'm air moved. And you dig under and you pick it up and move it. That's Capricorn. It digs it all up at one big time. While fire would pick up a whole handful of pebbles and take it. But Capricorn is digging all of that shit up, taking it and moving it over. That's how Aquarius gets it after, okay? When I talk about Aquarius. But parents, naturally, please encourage your Capricorn children to read aloud. Usually where there's ninth house, the ninth house or wherever their Mercury is, it can create children who do not know how to articulate. Don't encourage your children. Don't be that type of parent when it comes to children that you want to act like you're a great, valuable parent, but your child is out there scandling things. There's no such thing as a perfect family. However, what you encourage is what your children do, and what's hidden in the father shows in the son. And that's us as parents in general, because it comes from a generation of such things, okay? We all have generational curse, and we all have habits through a generational cycle, whether we want to act like we're being attacked. But if you look and shift your view, the glass is, when you see it half empty, if you shift it, it's the other way around. You understand? So the babies, y'all, I want y'all to encourage the children to speak aloud. Say what they're feeling. Write it down. Give them a journal. Give them more, and I mean real hugs and kisses. I mean the real ones, not when you don't feel like it. Because usually Capricorn kids, Capricorn, Aquarius children, they really, Sag, Scorpio, all this part of the chart, those types of children need more activities, encouragement, and seriously, just unexpected rewards. Don't make them feel like they have to earn just their way in life. Let them earn their give them the job of just showing you what they can do. Because most of the time, these types of children will base their life on whatever their parents were doing. Okay? And you don't want, if you know your child clearly doesn't have your attributes and they don't match up to those things that the parent have, the kid will grow up feeling like a failure. That can happen. And a lot of parents don't see that because they believe in their mind who they are and what accomplishments that they're trying to make and all of that stuff. Like I said, my mom, she didn't need all them damn credibilities and shit. She died struggling in her own right, but my mother did a lot of things for a lot of people in this community. People still to this day want to name the street after my mother. She ain't need a name based on somebody going to college and retiring and all that shit. No. You can do the same thing. You can make differences in your communities and neighborhoods without needing none of that. You know why? Because it blesses your children regardless. Your intent. How she was to her children was totally different, but all the same, that's why I'm saying that you can get the same validations without needing all that bullshit ass of credibility. The credibility is what you get. You get what you put in. You understand? For good or bad. There's infamous people and then there's famous people. You know what I'm saying? Understand, it's both ways. So my mama, she got some damn sure good ass things. You know what I'm saying? And she was accredited too. And she was street smart. You understand? So shout outs to Boosie. May she rest in perfect peace. And now, like I said, be very encouraging to your Capricorn babies. If not, they won't speak a lot of things. You'll find them, the boys, being very misogynistic, looking for mothers and every woman, or looking for validity. They need 1,000+ friends to tell them how to think and all this shit. And they running around looking for many women. The girls, they'll run around in reverse. They'll be pulling a Cancer, running around looking for validity through partnerships, having multiple babies by multiple men, looking for the wrong ways of getting this thing done. You understand? Like, you want to make sure your children understand their worth, we're not talking about worth as far as jobs go, but finding out who they are, because most Capricorn kids don't know who they are because they've been getting nothing but directives from their parent. So they'll be finding themselves, we find ourselves taking care of our fucking parents forever, and they don't go nowhere. They don't know how to balance a checkbook. They don't know none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? All they know is the basic survival of living. So when they go out on their trips, I notice they don't really fucking live outside of it. Me, I'm that Capricorn. You take me on a trip, I know how to really go out and enjoy myself because my mother taught me that. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, you was going to church, and yeah, you know about Islam, but don't let neither she said, all right, yeah, you was your father raised, and you was raised knowing about Islam, and you know about going to church and stuff. She said, don't let that be the only thing. There's a bigger, broader world out there, and that's what my mother taught me. Aquarius moon, Aries sun. It's a bigger, broader world out there where you can expand. Don't let one path to God be your only way of being. All right? Most Capricorns I know, they'll be like, oh, I've been to Jamaica. But all they did was sit their ass on the resort. They didn't participate in shit. They just sit there and act like it was just a fucking vacation. But the vacation is getting up and moving around and going, actually smiling. I mean, crack knock the rest of the bitch face. That face. Like you deep looking at somebody, penetrating them. Like, you can tell where a Capricorn is in a person when they do this. or any earth. You know what I'm saying? They'll do it. You know, I want the goats to go out there, have a good fucking time. Oh, wait till I get to the spicy, juicy, wicked, sadist parts of the goat. Teach them to relax and loosen up and not see life through their parents' eyes, because most of the time they stuck taking care of their parents. They feel it like, oh, I do it because it's an innate fear. Like, if I don't have my parents' respect, I won't make it into heaven, or I won't, like, it's fucked up how some of the parents, unconsciously or consciously, know what they're doing to their children. Oh God, I'll be right back. I'm going to take my bucket out and catch me some water.